Hello student, today's topic of discussion is accounting for translation of foreign currency transaction. Like, subscribe and share my channel. Okay, what is the foreign currency transaction? The transaction conducted between the two countries are called as a foreign currency transaction. Means one trader is situated in India and another trader is situated in America. At that time, the transaction between these two traders are called as foreign currency transaction. AS 11 is applicable to the foreign currency transaction. AS 11, Accounting Standard 11, is applicable to foreign currency transaction. Transaction conducted between one trader in India and one trader in America is an example of foreign currency transaction. Foreign currency transaction take place in foreign currency, say US dollar. Okay, they are converted into the home currency, that means reporting currency, at the exchange rate, and then they are recorded. Means if you want to record this transaction in India, at that time reporting currency is rupees. Okay, reporting currency means home currency, reporting currency, okay, is rupees. So we record that transaction in rupees only and not in US dollar, but transaction take place in US dollar. Okay, next, foreign currency transaction cannot be converted unless there is a rate of exchange. Okay, we must have rate of exchange on the date of transaction so that we can convert that transaction into the home currency or reporting currency. There may be gain or loss due to the exchange difference. Okay, you all know that the prices of the US dollar or yen changes frequently. Okay, and due to that changes in price of the dollar or yen, that foreign currency transaction, there may be loss or profit due to exchange difference. Okay, exchange difference may arise in case of foreign currency transaction due to use of the different rates of exchange. Okay, just now I told you that you also know that the dollar and other currency actually value changes frequently. Okay, that's why exchange difference is there in the foreign currency transaction. Okay, next, important terms related to foreign currency transactions. Okay, reporting currency. Okay, reporting currency is the currency used in presenting the financial statement. Reporting currency means our own country currency is the reporting currency. We record our transaction in reporting currency. Okay, in case of India, reporting currency is rupees, and in case of America, reporting currency is dollar. Okay, likewise, American dollar is reporting currency of America and rupees is the reporting currency of India. Foreign currency. Foreign currency is the currency other than the reporting currency of an enterprises. Just for India, for Indian person, American dollar is a foreign currency, and for American person, Indian rupees is a foreign currency. Average rate. The average rate is a mean of exchange rate in force during the period. Okay, there are exchange rate. Okay, that exchange rate, if we average out that exchange rate, that means the average rate. Okay, opening rate and closing rate divided by 2 is the average rate. Next, closing rate. Closing rate is the exchange rate at the balance sheet date, means year end rate is the closing rate. Exchange rate. Exchange rate is the ratio of exchange of the two currencies. Okay, means $1 is equal to rupees 70 is the exchange rate. Okay, exchange difference is the difference resulting from the reporting the same number of unit of the foreign currency in the reporting currency at the different exchange rates. Okay, is the exchange difference. Means next term, monetary item. Monetary items are the money held and asset and liabilities to be received or paid in fixed or determinable amount of the money is called a monetary item. Okay, for example, cash, receivable, payables, etc. Okay, and non-monetary items are the items are assets and liability other than the monetary item, that is fixed asset, inventories, investment, etc. Okay, a last term is fair value. Fair value is the amount for which an asset could be exchanged or a liability settled between knowledgeable willing parties in an arm's length transactions. Now let's check what is foreign exchange fluctuation account. Foreign exchange fluctuation account is also named as foreign exchange exchange rate difference account, and this account is a nominal account. Foreign exchange fluctuation account is a nominal account. If there is a loss, foreign exchange fluctuation account is debited, and if there is a profit, foreign exchange fluctuation account is credited. Okay, you already know that in this exchange difference in this foreign exchange fluctuation transaction, there may be profit or loss due to exchange difference. At that time, we need to post that profit or loss to foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, there are three types of problem in this topic. First problem related to import of goods, second export, and third combined problem. Okay, if there is a problem related to import, at that time if the rate is increased due to exchange difference, then FEF account is debited, because if the rate is increased, at that time you need to pay more amount, means that is loss to the company. Okay, that's why if there is a loss, FEF account is debited. Okay, and if the rate is decreased, at that time you need to credit foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, because if the rate is decreased, there will be profit for the company, because we need to pay less amount. Okay, so there is a profit to the company, therefore FEF account will be credited. Okay, and in case of export, if the rate is increased, FEF account is credited, and if the rate is decreased, the FEF account is debited. Okay, in case of export, we receive amount from the debtor, foreign debtor. At that time, if the rate is increased, we will receive more amount, therefore the company will have profit from the exchange different transaction. Therefore we credit the FEF account at that time. If the rate is increased, we credit the FEF account, and if the rate is decreased, we debit the FEF account. Okay, this is the simple trick, or this is the simple formula you can use for transferring the journal entries. Now let's see how which journal entry we need to transfer in this situation. First we will see journal entries related to import, journal entries related to the import of goods. Okay, now here I have mentioned some R1, R2 and R3 as a code number. Actually, R1 is the exchange rate on the date of purchase, R2 is the exchange rate on the date of settlement or payment, and R3 is the exchange rate on the date of year end. Okay, I have mentioned these three: R1, R2 and R3. R1 date of purchase, rate on the date of purchase; R2 exchange rate on the settlement date; and R3 is the exchange rate on the date of year end. Okay, normally we need to pass the first journal entry related to purchase of goods in case of import of goods. Okay, purchase or import of goods or raw material. Okay, in there may be one situation also, at that time advance payment we made to the foreign creditors. At that time first entry will be advance payment, and after that we will pass this second entry, purchase of goods. Okay, at the time of purchase of goods, purchases account is debited to the foreign supplier account. Okay, purchases account debited to the foreign supplier account, and amount will be R1. Okay, R1 means on the date of purchase, exchange rate will be R1. Okay, we will transfer this entry by multiplying R1 to the number of dollar or AN. Okay, in this entry I have mentioned ₹70 here as R1. Okay, then R1 is 70 rupees. I assume that R1 is 70 rupees. This 70 rupees or R1 is a base rate, because all other entry depends on this R1. That's why R1 is a base rate. You can also call R1 as a base rate. Okay, next transaction will be in these types of transaction, payment to the foreign supplier. Okay, now there will be two situations for the at the time of payment to the foreign supplier. The exchange rate or exchange difference will be increase or decrease. Okay, the simple entry, if there is no foreign foreign exchange fluctuation account, or there is no any exchange difference, at that time simple entry will be foreign supplier account debit to bank account. Okay, this is the simple entry for transferring payment to the foreign supplier. Okay, but if the rate is more than 70 or less than 70 at the time of payment, if the rate is more than 70, at that time the company will suffer the loss. Okay, that loss will be transferred to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. And if the rate is less than 70, at that time company will get profit of exchange difference. Okay, profit, and that profit will be transferred to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, so entry will be at the time of loss, the entry will be foreign supplier account debit, foreign exchange fluctuation account debit to bank account. And if there is a profit, the entry will be foreign supplier account debit to bank account to foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, base rate is 70, that is R1 is 70. If the R2 means the settlement date or payment date exchange rate. Okay, on the date of payment the rate will be R2. If the R2 is rupees 72, at that time there will be loss to the company, 2 rupees loss to the company. So entry will be foreign supplier account debits rupees 70, foreign exchange fluctuation account rupees 2, 72 minus 70, R2 minus R1, to bank account rupees 72. Means if the R2 is 67, at that time there will be profit. Okay, at that time the entry will be foreign supplier account debit rupees 70 to bank account rupees 67 to foreign exchange fluctuation account rupees 3, that is 70 minus 67, rupees 3. Okay, this is entry related to payment to the supplier. Okay, there will be there may be two situation, at profit or at loss. Now on the date of year end, you need to adjust the closing balance payable to the foreign supplier. Means if there is any outstanding balance, at that time we need to adjust that balance on the year end date. If the closing rate is more than the transaction rate, at that time there will be loss, and closing rate is R3. If the closing rate is more than the R1, at that time there will be loss, because we need to pay more amount we will need to pay more amount on the future date, because closing rate is more than the base rate. Okay, at that time journal entry will be foreign exchange fluctuation account debit, that is R3 minus R1. Okay, if R3 is rupees 73, at that time entry will be passed for rupees 3 for outstanding dollar or outstanding amount. Okay, for to foreign supplier account rupees 3. Okay, R3 minus R1. Now second situation, if the closing rate is less than the transaction rate, that is R1 is greater than the R3, at that time there will be profit. Okay, the entry will be foreign supplier account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, if the R3 is rupees 67, at that time R1 minus R3. Okay, there will be profit of rupees 3, because we need to pay less in the future, that's why there is a profit. Okay, after adjustment of closing rate, we need to transfer the foreign exchange fluctuation account balance to the P&L account. In the year end, we need to transfer balance of foreign exchange fluctuation account to the P&L account. If the foreign exchange fluctuation account shows the credit balance, at that time entry will be foreign exchange fluctuation account debit to profit and loss account. Okay, situation B, if the foreign exchange fluctuation account shows the debit balance, okay, that means there is a loss. At that time journal entry will be profit and loss account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation account. These two entries are transferred on the date of year end. First one is adjusting closing balance payable to the foreign supplier, means outstanding balance adjustment, and next balance in FEF account transfer to the P&L account. Okay, in the next year we need to transfer first entry payment to the foreign supplier in the next year. The entry is the same as we passed in entry for the payment to the foreign supplier earlier also, but the difference is that here we use, in the earlier entry we use R1 as a base rate, that is R1 is the exchange rate on the date of purchases. Okay, but in the current entry we consider R3 as a base rate. R3 means exchange rate on the date of year end. Okay, we consider R3 as a base rate, that is foreign supplier we will charge R3 if we assume that R3 is 73. If the current exchange rate, that is R2, is rupees 75, at that time there will be loss because we need to pay more than the closing exchange rate. The journal entry will be foreign supplier account debit rupees 73, foreign exchange fluctuation account rupees 2, 75 minus 73, to bank account rupees 75. And if the current transaction rate, that is R2, is rupees 71, at that time there will be profit. Journal entry will be foreign supplier account debit rupees 73, to bank account rupees 71, to foreign exchange fluctuation account rupees 2. Okay, after passing these entry we need to close current year accounts also. At that time we will transfer this journal entry FEF balance transfer to P&L account. The same entry will be transferred here. These entries are related to the import of goods. Now let's see journal entries related to the export of goods. Here R1 is the exchange rate on the date of sale. Okay, at the time of import we mention here at the date of purchase. R2 is the exchange rate on the date of settlement, means receipt of the amount, and R3 is the exchange rate on the date of year end. Okay, at the time of export of goods the entry will be foreign customer account debit to export sale account. Okay, for R1 on the date of sale exchange rate will be used for this entry. Next, for receiving the payment from foreign customer, for receiving the payment from the foreign customer, the entry will be, there will be two situations. There is a loss, if there is a loss, or if there is a profit. If the exchange rate, if the R2 is more than the R1, then there will be loss, and if the R1 is more than the R2, then there will be a profit. Okay, R1 means base rate, R1 means base rate, and R2 means current date exchange rate. Okay, settlement date exchange rate. Okay, next entry on the date of year end. Okay, year end, same, actually these are entry same as entries related to the import of goods, but in the reverse direction. Okay, if the closing rate is more than the transaction rate, at that time entry will be foreign customer account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation account for adjustment of outstanding balance. Okay, and if the closing rate is less than the transaction rate, at that time there will be loss, and entry will be FEF account debit to foreign customer account. Okay, on the year end FEF balance transfer to the P&L account. Okay, if the credit balance, entry will be FEF account debit to P&L account, and if there is a debit balance, at that time journal entry will be profit and loss account debit to FEF account. Okay, in the next year we will transfer the entry related to the receipt of the payment. Okay, receiving payment from the foreign customer in the next year. Okay, journal entry bank account debit. If there is a loss, FEF account is debited to foreign customer account, and if there is a profit, journal entry will be bank account debit to FEF account to foreign customer account. Okay, these are the entry related to the export of goods. In the year end, we need to transfer this entry also, balance in the FEF transfer to the P&L account. Okay, the difference is that at the time of import, bank account is always credited, and at the time of export, the bank account is always debited. Okay, FEF account is debited when there is a loss in both the situation, and FEF account is credited when there is a profit. Like, subscribe and share my channel.
Now let's see problem related to foreign currency transaction. This problem is related to export of goods. Okay. Past journal entries for the following foreign exchange transaction in the books of Sonu Limited. Sonu Limited of Pune exported goods worth $1 lakh on 12 January 2015 to Universal Trader of USA. That means Sonu Limited sold the goods to Universal Trader of USA for $1 lakh, okay, on 12 January 2015. The payment for the same was received as follows. Okay. That means this goods has been sold by the Sonu Limited on credit basis to Universal Trader of USA. Okay, and that payment will receive on the following dates. They have provided the dollars also, how much dollar we will receive on 15 February, that is $50,000, on 2nd March $10,000, and remaining on 12th April, that is $40,000. Okay. The company follows the financial year as the accounting year. That means company follows the accounting year, financial year as the accounting year. That means from 1st April to 31st March as the accounting year. Okay, the exchange rate, we have provided the exchange rate for $1 for 12th January 2015. The exchange rate means on the date of sale, on the date of export, the rate of exchange was 46, and for next receipt 48, 45, on the current year end 49, and for the last payment 50. Okay, this was the problem. This is the problem actually, and we are asked to prepare journal entries, and just we also need to prepare foreign exchange fluctuation account. Now let's see how to journalize the transaction. Okay, while passing the journal entry, you can also prepare foreign exchange fluctuation account simultaneously, or you can prepare it after completion of all the journal entries. For passing all the journal entry means for year end, you can prepare the foreign exchange fluctuation account, and you can transfer the foreign exchange fluctuation account balance to the P&L account. Okay, for the next year also you can do that. Okay, so let's see. The first transaction was Sonu Limited exported the goods. Okay, that means sold the goods to Universal Trader of USA. Okay, for $1 lakh. Okay, the rate of exchange on that date was rupees 46. Okay, so we can transfer the journal entry, goods exported. That's why on credit basis. That's why Universal Trader of USA account debit to export sale account. Okay, and the amount for the journal entry will be the transaction is done in US dollar, but while preparing journal entry or while transferring entry to the accounts actually, or posting the entry in the account, we need to transfer that into reporting currency. That is our reporting currency is rupees. Okay, even though our transaction is done in US dollar, that is $1 lakh, but for account purpose we need to transfer that entries in rupees, that is reporting currency. Okay, this is foreign currency, that is dollar of US dollar 1 lakh. We have sold the goods, so sorry, Sony Limited sold the goods for $1 lakh to Universal Trader of USA. Okay, while transferring the entry, we need to mention it in rupees, that is $1 lakh, and on that date on the date of sale, the rate of exchange was 46 per US dollar. That means $1 is equal to rupees 46. Okay. Therefore, for $1 lakh, the amount will be 1 lakh into 46 is equal to 46 lakh. Mention the narration being goods exported. Okay. Next transaction, just transfer the transaction in chronological order. Okay. After 12th January, the next transaction will be on 15th February 2015 for receipt of $50,000 US. Okay. And on that date, the rate of exchange was rupees 48 per US dollar. Okay. Rupees 48 per US dollar. Okay. So we are going to receive more amount. That means on the date of sale, the rate of exchange was rupees 46 per US dollar. And while receiving the amount on 15 February 2015, the rate of exchange was rupees 48 per US dollar. That means we are receiving 2 rupees more per US dollar. Okay. That will be profit to the company. Okay. So that profit will be transferred to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay. Now let's see how to pass that journal entry. Here I have shown that journal entry in two ways. This is combined journal entry and this is separate journal entry. Okay. You are required to solve only one journal entry. That means you can transfer it as combined journal entry or you can transfer it separate journal entry. Okay. Just I have mentioned here both the types of journal entry, so that you will come to know how to journalize the transaction and how to pass the how to post it to the ledger account, that is foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay. So let's see. The journal entry will be bank account debit, because we are exporting the goods. We are going to receive the amount from the universal trader. Okay. So on 15 February, the amount will receive for the $50,000. And the rate of exchange on the date of receiving the payment is rupees 48. So we need to multiply it by 48. So we will receive the amount of rupees 24 lakhs. Okay, rupees 24 lakhs. But we need to transfer or charge to the universal trader rupees 46 only, because we have debited to the universal trader in the initial journal entry for rupees 46. Okay, so every time we need to credit the universal trader while receiving the payment for rupees 46 only. Okay, so we are crediting to the universal trader for $50,000 at the rate of rupees 46, that is rupees 23 lakhs. Okay, 50,000 into 46. Okay, 23 lakhs. And the difference between these two rate of exchange, okay, exchange rate, there will be profit, because we are receiving the more amount. Okay, instead of 23 lakhs we are receiving 24 lakhs. That means we are receiving 1 lakh more amount. So that 1 lakh rupees will be profit to the company, and that profit should be transferred to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. We have created separate account for that, foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, we are receiving payment of $50,000, and the profit portion for each dollar is rupees 2 per dollar. That means 48 minus 46 is rupees 2 per dollar. That is profit portion will be 50,000 into 2, that is rupees 1 lakh. Okay, narration will be being amount received $50,000 at the rate of rupees 48, fluctuation of $50,000 at the rate of rupees 2 per dollar. Okay, this is the second journal entry. This is combined journal entry. Now let's see how to transfer the separate journal entry. Okay, this is also actually simple journal entry, but while posting to the foreign exchange fluctuation account, it creates some doubt in the minds of students. That's why I am showing this separate journal entry also. For separate journal entry, we will transfer first journal entry related to the receipt of the amount from the universal trader, and that amount receipt will be at the rate of rupees 48 per US dollar. That means bank account debit to universal trader account 50,000 into rupees 48, that is rupees 24 lakhs. Okay. Now second journal entry will be transfer of profit portion to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, for that we need to debit the universal trader account and credit the foreign exchange fluctuation account, because there is a profit. That's why we need to credit the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Foreign exchange fluctuation account is a nominal account. If there is a profit, we need to credit it, and if there is a loss, we need to debit it. Okay, debit that foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, so we need to transfer the profit. So how much profit is there? So how much profit involved in it? That is rupees 48. We received rupees 48, but while selling the goods, we debited to the universal trader for rupees 46 per US dollar. Okay, this is the base rate. Okay, and while receipt, we received rupees 48 per US dollar. That means we received 2 rupees per US dollar extra. Okay, so we need to transfer that profit to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. The journal entry will be universal trader account debit 50,000 into 2, that is rupees 1 lakh, to foreign exchange fluctuation account 50,000 into 2, that is rupees 1 lakh. Okay, this is the separate journal entry. These are the separate journal entries actually. First one for receipt of the payment, and second one for the transfer of profit to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, FEF account. Okay, so let's see how to transfer that, how to prepare the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, it's a ledger account, foreign exchange fluctuation account. This is the first transaction, 15 to 2015. Okay, if you see this combined journal entry, at that time, at the credit side of foreign exchange fluctuation account, you will transfer by bank account, but it's wrong, because it's combined journal entry. That's why you are looking that a bank account is debited, but it's not actually a fact. You can see the separate journal entry for that. Foreign exchange fluctuation account is credited and universal trader account is debited. Okay, that's why we need to credit universal trader account by universal trader account rupees 1 lakh. Okay, and not by bank account. Okay, that's why I'm showing the both the journal entry, that is combined journal entry and separate journal entry. While posting to the foreign exchange fluctuation account, shouldn't make mistake that they are credited by bank, credited foreign exchange fluctuation account by bank account. That is wrong actually. It is actually foreign exchange fluctuation account is non-monetary item. You should credit only that party account. Okay, that's why on 15 February 2015 by universal trader account rupees 1 lakh. Okay, this is the correct actually way of posting to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Now next date is 2nd March 2015. Okay, just keep in mind our year end is 31st March 2015, so we need to close our books on 31st March 2015. But before that, we need to transfer the current transaction, that is the 2nd March 2015, a receipt of 10,000 US dollar. On that date, the rate of exchange is rupees 45 per US dollar. Okay, and our base rate of exchange was 46 rupees per US dollar. That means now we need to pay, we are going to receive less amount. Okay, instead of 46, we are going to receive only rupees 45 per US dollar. That means we will suffer loss due to this transaction. Okay, so let's check how to transfer that transaction. Bank account debit. Okay, $10,000 at the rate of rupees 45, amount rupees 4,50,000. Okay, and loss is transferred to the foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, 1 rupees per US dollar. Base rate is rupees 46 and current rate is rupees 45. Okay, that's why R1 minus R2 is equal to rupees 1 per US dollar. That means foreign exchange fluctuation account debited due to loss to the okay, 10,000 rupees, and to universal trader account rupees 46, that is base rate. Okay, 10,000 into 46 is equal to rupees 4,60,000. Now look here for the separate journal entry. Okay, just keep in mind that you don't need to transfer both the entries. Actually, you can transfer combined journal entry or separate journal entry. Okay, whatever you want, actually you can do. Okay, I am just showing that how to transfer the combined journal entry and separate journal entry. Okay, for transferring separate journal entry, first you need to transfer the receipt journal entry, that is bank account debit to universal trader account. Okay, 10,000 into rupees 45, because rate of exchange on the date of receipt is rupees 45. That's why journal entry bank account debit 10,000 into 45 to universal trader account 10,000 into 45, that is 4,50,000. Okay, and here company suffers a loss of rupees 1 per US dollar, rupees 1 per US dollar. That's why foreign exchange fluctuation account we need to debit for the transferring loss. Okay, that is foreign exchange fluctuation account 10,000 into 1. Okay, that is rupees 10,000, and universal trader account to universal trader account 10,000 into 1 is equal to rupees 10,000. Okay, this is separate journal entry. Now transfer the foreign exchange fluctuation balance to FAF account, that is foreign exchange fluctuation account, on 2nd March 2015. Okay, FAF account is debited. That's why on the debit side of FAF account to universal trader account rupees 10,000. Okay, now next journal entry on the date of year end. On the date of year end, you need to adjust the exchange difference for the outstanding dollar. Okay, total transaction dollar was 1 lakh. The receipt was 50,000 and 10,000. That means already we received $60,000 amount. Okay, the balance dollar is $40,000. Okay, so for that we need to adjust the rate of exchange. Okay, for the balance dollar. Okay, for the year end, the rate of exchange is rupees 49 per US dollar, and the base rate was rupees 46 per US dollar. That means for the remaining outstanding dollar, for the remaining dollars we are going to receive more amount. Okay, that means that is profit to the company. Okay, profit of rupees 3 per US dollar. That means the base rate was rupees 46 and the current year end rate rupees 49. Okay, the difference is rupees 3 per US dollar. Okay, that is the profit to the company, because the company is going to receive more amount. Okay, so we need to adjust that balance. Okay, company is going to receive more amount. That's why the profit to the company. So profit is to be transferred to the foreign exchange fluctuation account for outstanding dollar. Okay, this is most important, that you should keep in mind that we need to adjust the exchange difference at the year end for the balance dollar only, that is for outstanding dollar only, and not for the total dollar or total transaction dollar. Okay, just so now outstanding dollar $40,000 and the difference is rupees 3 per US dollar. That's why the journal entry will be universal trader account debit to foreign exchange fluctuation account. That profit transfer to the foreign exchange fluctuation account 40,000 into 3 is equal to 1,20,000. Okay, after adjusting the rate of exchange at the year end, we need to close the foreign exchange fluctuation account and transfer that balance to the profit and loss account. Just calculate the balance. Just we need to transfer this journal entry. In this journal entry, for the adjustment of for adjustment of a rate of exchange, that foreign exchange fluctuation account is credited. That's why in the credit side of foreign exchange fluctuation account on 31st/3/2015 by universal trader account rupees 1,20,000. After that we need to close the foreign exchange fluctuation account, calculate the balance of foreign exchange fluctuation account, that is total of 2,20,000, total of 2,20,000, and balance is 2,10,000. That balance we need to transfer to the profit and loss account. Okay, for that we need to transfer the next journal entry, foreign exchange fluctuation account debit to profit and loss account 2,10,000. Okay, being profit on foreign exchange fluctuation account is transferred to the P&L account. The narration would be like that. Okay, that's it for the first year, end. Now for next year, only one transaction is remaining, that is on 12th April 2015, receipt of $40,000. That is full and final settlement of account. 40,000 receipt of $40,000, and on that day, on 12th April 2015, the rate of exchange is rupees 50 per US dollar. Okay, so journal entry will be on 12th April 2015, bank account debit to Universal Trader account to foreign exchange fluctuation account. Okay, on the date of receipt, the rate of exchange is rupees 50 per US dollar, and now we need to compare that rate of exchange with the year-end rate. Okay, in the next year you need to compare that rate with the year-end rate and not with the base rate that you were using earlier, that is rupees 46 per US dollar. Okay, in the next year you need to consider year-end rate as a base rate. Okay, your receipt is rupees 50 per US dollar and your year-end rate was rupees 49 per US dollar. That means you are receiving ₹1 rupees extra per US dollar. Okay, that is profit to the company. That's why foreign exchange fluctuation account is credited by ₹1 per US dollar, rupees 40,000. Okay, mention the narration after that and transfer the foreign exchange fluctuation account balance to the foreign exchange fluctuation account at the credit side of foreign exchange fluctuation account on 12th April 2015 by Universal Trader account rupees 40,000. Okay, this amount rupees 40,000. And for the current year end, you need to close the foreign exchange fluctuation account and transfer that balance to the profit and loss account on 31st/3/2016 to P&L account rupees 40,000. Transfer that journal entry on 31st/3/2016, foreign exchange fluctuation account debit to profit and loss account rupees 40,000. Okay, that's it. This problem is related to the export of goods. Also try to solve the problem related to import of goods and combine problem. Okay, do the maximum practice. Thank you.
Like, subscribe and share my channel.